noticed, you were actually the first person we're interviewing for this new segment of our homes on Laduma. It's called Business Minds of Footballers, and we followed your progress and we see what you're doing as a footballer and to prepare yourself for life after football. So thank you for having us here today. And firstly, just tell us where we are. We know we're at your business today, but just tell us where we are and tell us a bit about your business called Goodfellas.
Thanks for taking your time to drive so far to come to Klerksdorp. You're in my hometown called Klerksdorp. It's renewally named Matlosana. You're in my establishment called Goodfellas nightclub. I didn't want to change the name from where it was, but I typically would say it's a lounge compared to saying it's a nightclub. So it's an establishment that welcomes all people of different culture, religion, races to come enjoy the late night fun and late night rest from their respective careers, business, and just individual people that wanna just relax, and unwind, from your day-to-day, stress that anyone goes through. So it's a joint that I won't say opened, but I've taken from the previous owner. His name is Larry. This place was established 2002. So there's been 3 owners. I'm the 3rd owner. So I believe that all the years that these guys have laid behind, I can take forward and get back to where it was, because from the first owner the place was known for only white people, and after Larry took over he tried to mix both races, black and white. So since I've taken over, there's been white people coming, but not so much. But yeah, I've got the good support of all the black people from my community.
Yeah. So why make that decision to acquire this place?
To be honest, I once had few rents in this place. I think twice, and I've people wanted to fight with me. And the second incident that happened was, I was not at fault, but because of the first incident, the owner's like, I know you always like to fight. Get out of my place. And I went out, and I stood outside the place next to the entrance. I said, I think it was around 2016, 17. I said, yeah, you can chase me out, but one day I'll buy this place. So it's stuck, that word, I'll buy this place, is stuck, not to undermine the previous owner, but because I knew that this place have so much potential, and a lot of black people, we classify it as an epitome of Matlosana. So when you want to go out, I think it's one of the best places that you can come at, and you'll be fairly welcomed, and security, the food, the ambience, it's out of this world. But I believe that I can take this place to another level in terms of infrastructure and a little bit of renovations, but it's the plan for the future.
Yeah. You're not playing at the moment, so how is it helping you focus more on this business?
I've been away from South Africa for the past 12 years, and I haven't had a fair chance to really focus on all the business that I've built, me and my wife. She's been the one who's running everything, but it has helped me to really understand the background that it takes to really see the day-to-day of people coming to eat, coming to dine and wine, all the DJs that come here. So it made me aware of all the fundamental aspects of the business behind, not what people see when they come and have a drink here in my joint. So it's really helped me. But it's something that I believe that it's in a safe hands. I don't want to take over for my wife because she's done a tremendous job. There's other things that I want to, I think fully put my mind and effort into. So this is just a place that I feel that, when people see my face here, they'll say, Dino is at this place. Let's go have a drink.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, but it has helped me so much to really, really know how much it takes for my wife to really juggle, to be a wife and a mother and also a businesswoman. It took so much, and I really appreciate that from her.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I mean, you're a well-known face. Does that in any way help in terms of the people who come here because they know Dino Ndlovu? Does that help the business in any way?
It has its own perks. It's got its own advantages and disadvantages. Mainly disadvantages is that when you are someone on my space, you don't want to avail yourself to everyone. So since I have to be almost because Tuesday and Wednesday we don't trade. So we trade from Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sunday and Monday. So I have to make sure that I'm here. So you give everyone the opportunity to have a piece of you. Not only guys, So sometimes you have to be friendly to women because my establishment, a lot of women likes to come here. So you have to be friendly. So sometimes you have to pay attention on how friendly you become with those, the other gender. So as I said, it's got these ups and downs, but so far it's got these own advantages that people, when they see me here, they would come and want to sit because I'm here. So other people will just take a sneak peek without me realizing that someone is taking a picture or a video. So that's one of the good advantages of it. But the disadvantage is that you don't want to avail yourself so much to everyone, because sometimes someone comes into your place, you're just having a drink, and someone just wants to take a picture, and you're not in a good state of mind, or you're not in a good space to take a picture, and other people, they take it wrong way, and they start to throw tantrums. So I'm just trying to know how to manage it, but so far so good.
Yeah. The school of thought is that sometimes in business you use other people's money, and people stay away from loans. Just to acquire this place, what did it require, a loan, or did you have your own capital already?
To be honest, all my businesses, I've never used anyone's money. I've never used the bank's money. It's the money that I've made through football. And the other business that I've acquired is the money from this place that helped me to, reinvest back in other, diversity of other places that I want to go to, or spaces that I want to go to. So I'm quite fortunate. I'm quite fortunate that whatever that I've made on my businesses, it's before now at this stage, because now there's no income that I've been doing through football. So I've been fortunate enough that I haven't been living off all the businesses, all the monies that or the profit that I've been making with my businesses. I'm quite fortunate that I've reinvested back with all the profit that I've been making to other businesses, also here also. So I've never acquired any loan. I've never acquired any helping hand from anyone. All the money that I've been doing all of it comes from football.
Does that mean you're also good with your money in terms of saving, investing? Because sometimes we've heard footballers, things not ending well in their careers, and you find that things are no longer the same when they retire. They are poor, living in difficult times. So does that mean you invested well and you're clued up about saving?
To be honest, I don't believe in saving. Mainly because I want my money to work for me. So when you save it for what? To work for the external institution that you save your money at. So for me, I believe that what you have, use it, but use it wisely. But I don't want to put too much attention into the stigma that is being built around footballers, that they don't know how to save or whatever. Each individual, or each and every footballer, they got their own contract and they know how much they're earning. And I also want to put myself in their own shoes for those ones who couldn't have the chance to earn what I've earned through my career so far. So saving hasn't been one of my best instruments I've used. So I've had my own fair share. beginning of my career that I've used money haphazardly and I've wasted money. But as I said, I've had a group of people that they've been around me. Especially, I will single out my wife, who's been around me, and she's helped me so much to do right choices in terms of investing the money that I've worked hard for.
Yeah, and I mean, you played overseas for a long time, and I'm sure the earnings there are usually higher than what you'd get here locally. But now that you're not playing, does the business or the businesses that you have allow you to earn as much as you were earning when you were playing? Is it more or is it less?
To be honest, when I was turning 31, 2021, after COVID, I was also fortunate enough during COVID. People lost a lot of their jobs. The economy, trembled. I was fortunate enough that when I was in China, we never faced such. Because in South Africa, you had people lost their jobs. They got cut their salaries by 50%, 30%. I was fortunate enough that I didn't even have to face that. So when I turned 31, I had to sit with my wife. I said, look, I think I'm reaching at the pinnacle of my career where anything can happen, and we had an agreement, not an agreement, we had a conversation that, look, we should plan now to say whatever that we're going to be making out of the businesses should not be so much going to my expenses. So from 31 until now, I've been going downwards with cutting all my expenses going down, apart from what I've been earning, So that's what I said. For me, it's been a great eye-opener for me that I've had to cut a lot of things so that I can be able to see what's important, what's not important. So I've cut a lot of things out of my career, out of my expenses, and what I'm currently doing in terms of my expenditure, my business can be able to sustain me.
What's the biggest loss maybe you've had in this business or any of your other business?
I've lost a lot of money. There's a business that I invested in, but I don't want to mention people's names. I've lost over almost close to 5-6 million that I've invested without doing due diligence, because I know you're a brother, he's a brother, and he comes with a business idea, and I just invest the money without a thorough check on the business, and you lose money, So I had to take an L and move forward. But all the business that I have now and that are currently moving, there's never even a single cent that I've ever lost. So the ones, I think I have 2 businesses that I've lost money at. The one, it was exporting. There's a friend of mine that he lives in Dubai, but he's a South African guy, he lives in Dubai. He pitched up this idea to me that there's this space in Dubai that we can be able to make money from, but only to find out that the other people that he was going to business with, because I was the first, he was the middleman, those people that I was not even aware of, it's the guys from Pakistan, they took our money and they ran off, and where you gonna be able to search for those guys? So I just accepted. But it took me also another $1 million to get PIs, lawyers. So you get to a point whereby I said, this $1 million that you invested on getting your other money back, you're just gonna be overspending, So I just said, look, I have to make peace with the fact that I invested, and I don't blame anyone, I blame myself, and I have to take this L and move forward. And it's something that every day it gives me sleepless nights. But I believe in God. Whatever that I went through that particular moment, I believe that God will multiply it and bring it back to me as a blessing.
Yeah. Also, I mean, you speak about things like that. How would you advise other footballers as well in terms of educating themselves when it comes to such things where yes, you've got the money, and you just want to invest without doing your homework and, like you say, due diligence?
For me, I think the best thing that any footballer can make is to invest in something that they can be able to see and touch, because nobody can take that away from you. Meaning, I think the best one would be student accommodation, property, commercial property, depending where you feel that you have the financial capacity to invest in, because in that sector it will help you to get more profits, to be able to also teach yourself other businesses that you want to diversify into. So I think for me the best that I can say for now is property, and you can make a research. All previous footballers or ex-footballers, the best advice that they, or the best investment they've ever done in their whole careers that they've done, they will tell you is property. You know, they invested their monies in property, and even till today or till to date, most of them, they still have those properties that they are earning something from. So for me, I always tell people that if you don't know anything about any sector or any business field, don't rush to put your money into it, because you're gonna shoot yourself in the foot and you're gonna regret. And I'm not saying this because of, I'm just saying it for the fun of it. I'm saying it because from experience, I had the capacity, the financial capacity, and I just blew the money that I could have done so much for me and my family. And today I'm speaking about it, and I'm speaking as a living experience of, don't put your money in something that you don't know, or you don't have any full background check on where you're gonna put your money into.
Yeah. Some big names that have come here. I'm sure you have a lot of friends, football-wise, even outside of football. Who are some of the people that have come here and had a chance to experience Goodfellas?
There's a lot, eh? There's a lot. One of them is Manti Muholo. He had a chance to grace us with his presence here. And before that, there's other guys that, you know, they always wanted to be invited, but because they wanted to be invited, when I'm around, the schedule clashes. For an example, when I was in Turkey, you know, the league schedule plays the same as in South Africa. So when I come here around winter time, I want to go on holiday with my family, you know. So when I come back from holiday, others, they are preparing themselves to go back to pre-season. Yeah. So it's always that, you know, that clash of dates. But most of them, they've promised that one of the good days they will come and, you know, grace me with their presence at my establishment. One of them has been George Maluleke, George Lebesi. We had a couple of conversation. Obringoma. There's been a lot that you know, they've asked me, but because of also the same thing I've said, the dates have clashed, and that's why most of them, they haven't had the opportunity to come to the establishment.
Yeah. And DJs, I mean, I've seen you've had you got some lineups weekly, some top DJs that have come here.
No, the list is endless. When it comes to artists and DJs, the list is endless. We've had the top of the range, the one you can even expect, you know. On my birthday party, we had the newly owned vocalist, a young lady called Zinhle. She was here. I had the best birthday ever that I've never had in the longest time. We've had DJs in Zinhle before. We've had Ziggs Bantwini. We've had King D-Toy. We've had the list is endless. We had Major League DJs. We've had, the list is endless. I can name few, but you know, if you would go to our social pages, you will see which DJs or artists that we've had in the establishment.
Do they take a lot in terms of money? Like, obviously they are artists, they've got rates. Do they take a lot in terms of what you spend on the business?
To be honest, if I'm the one who's facilitating all the bookings, I've got a relationship with these guys, you know. Or I might have a relationship with the one that the third party that might be able to be, get us fair rates, but the business can sustain itself to have these bookings. But we haven't cut an arm and a leg to get artists. That's why that we've got artists that we want in our establishment, but we are always cautious on our spending in terms of bringing top artists and DJs in our establishment. We want to bring the Scorpion Kings. We want to bring DJ Black Coffee. We want to bring all this, but sometimes you have to see if bringing someone of that stature does it bring business sense in terms of the establishment. Of course, in terms of the status, it can be able to bring and put the name of the place up there. But in terms of the money that you have spent, the revenue that you spend into the place, would it make business sense for me to make my money back? Which it doesn't make that business sense. So for us, we've always been cautious in terms of who we bring, and we always want to negotiate the bookings so that it makes business sense in terms of who we bring and how much we're gonna we'll be making from the business at the end of the day.
For footballers, man, what financial advice would you have? Because sometimes maybe they're not aware of what's out there. What financial advice would you have for footballers who are not even going to business one day?
As I've said before, I think the question is more similar to invest in something that you know that is going to bring the best out of you. So if you know you're going to invest in yourself, go to school. Go to school. If you know that you want to acquire a skill that after your playing days you can be able to live off that skill, do it. But do something that you can be able to have a say and have a final say to the day-to-day of that business. So if you want to invest in something that you don't have a day-to-day business decisions, I always say refrain from investing in that kind of business. Always invest in something that you know that when you look yourself in the mirror, if the business didn't go well, you have to blame that guy that you see in the mirror. You don't come again and say, no, I blame this person, I blame this person. You take an L and move forward. So the best financial decision advice I can give anyone is that make an investment where you have a final say in the profits or the day-to-day of that particular business that you are investing in.
You've had time away from football. Firstly, just give us an update as to what is happening with you in your football career.
For now, I'm a house husband. I'm a house husband, and it's not like it's gonna happen forever. It's just that I'm just offloading the burden. I will use the word burden or the load that my wife has had all these years, and I just want to play a role of being a husband, of being a father to my family, and just to see how my kids reciprocate the energy that I'm bringing to the family. All the times that I've spent away from them, if I'm around, how does it help, in the household? So, but there's a lot of things that I'm planning on the pipeline, but football-wise, which first and foremost is I just want to get my FIFA license of being an agent, and secondly, I just want to probably get a football club, but probably get a team from third division and be able to, scout players around Northwest, because besides Orbit College, we don't have any professional football club. So it's something that I want to really, really put my experience, my effort, and my heart into it, because I believe that as much as football has given me so much, I believe that I can be able to give back, and I don't want to turn my back into football. I want to be able to help the boys that look up to me, back from Matlosana or entirely in Northwest, So I think the best stepping stone for me to do that is, buying a football club and also being a football agent, because I've been blessed to have one of the best agents, in the country, which was Walter Mkwena, and I've had one of the best agents abroad from Cyprus. But all in all, is the experiences, and I've loved, the day-to-day of seeing my agent do what he does best. So I think I've loved to the energy, the energy that he has put into my career has made me to be in love with that, that career path of being an agent. So for me, it's one of the things that are on the pipeline for me.
You talk about being an agent. There's a lot of youngsters in this country, and many feel that they should be overseas. Do you see potential in a lot of youngsters in South Africa going abroad even more?
Look, talent-wise, South Africa is the best, but talent alone cannot sustain you in each and every door you want to knock in. So I always believe that the stigma that has around South African football players, you can name Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Lesotho, and also South Africa. The players, we have this stigma that we go abroad, but we never, have the power to stay, or we never have the courage to stay abroad. So I believe it has nothing to do with talent. It has something to do with off-field mentalities and stuff that as agents that we need to be able to fix. Because there's stuff that there's gaps that I've recognized, that I think football agents need to also put their mind into it. That you find footballers that they sign a huge contract, whether you sign a contract that's 3 years or 4 years, and those players, they don't have retirement annuity policies. Those players, they don't have any source of background in terms of their monies that they are making in football. There is something that I've recognized, and it happened when I was in Israel. I think also in Belgium they do it, because I saw something when Laduma Ndlovu passed away. They did something like that. Why in the PSL, why we cannot bring something like of that sort into our football? That when you have a contract of 3 years, there should be a certain percentage that clubs that are investing for a player, whether it's 2%, whether it's 5%, whether it's 10% of your signing on fees, your image rights, your sponsorship deals, that they take that portion and put it into a retirement annuity, or they put it in some kind of policy that will protect the player when something bad happens. Whether you don't have a contract for the coming 2 years, you can leave off that money, or you can take that portion of that money and reinvest in something that you feel it will be suitable for you and for your future and for your future's family, your family's future. So for me, one of the things, I think one of the products that I believe that we can help, and I've seen it also in Belgium, I've seen it in Israel, they do it tremendously, and I think if we can introduce it in South Africa, it can help a lot of upcoming football players.
I mean, there's a guy like Laduma, for example, Mufokeng. A lot has been said about him. What do you think of his quality? Is he the type that can go overseas right now? Because you get some who say, no, he must wait one more season. Is he the type that can go now?
I don't know the boy personally. I've never met him, but from what I've seen, I think he's got a good personality. You can see a human being. You can see that humanity in him. But just for me, identifying him from far. But I believe that each and every footballer that makes it into the professional ranks in South Africa has the ability to make it overseas. It just comes from each and every individual to believe in themselves that they have the capacity to make it abroad. With Mufokeng, I believe that he's one of the best players that I've ever seen to come out of South Africa. I think if we're gonna delay his progress or his movement to go abroad, we're not gonna do any justice into his career. I think the best thing we can do is to export him. The earlier the better. The same way how Brazilian players, Brazilian football market do it. When you're 16 and they see potential, they take that opportunity and they export you to Europe or other foreign countries. So I think it's high time that also when we have a good player that has the potential to do well for the national team and do well also for their respective team, we have to not waste any time and export the player overseas. And I believe the boy has that potential to do well overseas.